as little girls and little boys, most of us dreamt of being these amazing things when we grew up. Others dreamt of being the best doctors, others wanted to be the best lawyers, others wanted to go as far as traveling to the moon. And we've seen most of these things come to pass. Well, as a little girl, I dreamt of being on TV, and as you can see, dreams definitely do come true. Today on the show, well, before I get there, you're watching Hope Teens, a show that comes your way every Sunday at 17 hours to 18 hours. And of course, we do have repeat shows every Tuesday at 18 hours to 19 hours. Now, remember to follow us on our social media platforms so that you can always get first-hand and exclusive information of all the wonderful shows that we have for you here on Hope Channel. That's on Facebook at Hope Channel Zambia, as well as on YouTube at Hope Channel Zambia. And of course, I am your host, Natasha Shapola Mamba. Now, today we are discussing dreaming big. Why is it so important to dream big? What are big dreams in reality? And to help us dissect this very important cross-cutting issue is a phenomenal gentleman. I'm not going to say his name, lest his people come for me if I do not pronounce it well. I'm going to let him do the honors. Of course, I'm talking to the radical entrepreneur. Sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you. My pleasure being here.
Absolutely ecstatic to have you here. Before we get into the show, I'm pretty sure people are wondering, I just said I'm talking to the radical entrepreneur, So obviously people are wondering, who's the radical entrepreneur? What's his name and what does he do?
Okay, so my names are Dumisani Lingamangari Ncube,
Okay.
Commonly known as the Radical Entrepreneur.
Okay.
Others call me DLN.
Okay.
So it actually depends on what would be much easier for you. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is a youth now who was born many years back in the village.
Okay.
Grew up in the village. Well known for my enterprising acumen, well known for DLN Technologies, which is a company that deals in smart card printers.
Okay.
So now if you go to a bank, when you want to replace your ATM card, it will be replaced instantly.
Okay.
Thanks to the machines that we actually provide. So there's that and a couple of other things that I'm actually involved in. And I share quite a bit on entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that is what I'm known for.
Yeah.
But well, there are so many things that I do outside that. Yeah.
That's powerful. So we definitely can trust that the person that's going to be talking to us today about this important topic is well vested in this field. So, Mr. Dumisani, just how would you define, like in just your own words, how would you define dreaming big? Like, what are dreams? What is dreaming big?
Okay, so dreams are what you envision yourself to be.
Okay.
What you believe you can be, or what you believe can be.
Okay.
So when you talk of dreaming big, we are basically saying envision yourself big. So this could be in line with success. Envision yourself this powerful, successful person. So when you talk of dreaming big, really you are saying, how well can you blow up the thoughts of yourself?
Okay.
Yes, so that is really, dreaming big.
Yes. I think that's very powerful.
And I loved your introduction.
Okay.
You said, you see, as a little girl, you are dreaming of being on TV, and well, here you are.
Exactly.
You see, the interesting thing with dreaming big is that it makes you envision yourself as this powerful person.
Okay.
And you must note that, you see, you cannot be that which you have not envisioned yourself to
Exactly.
be. Yes. You become what you believe you can become.
Right.
Yes. So it is extremely important to truly dream big, because it then makes it possible for you to become that.
And transmutes to its physical equivalent.
That's the thing.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
I follow Mr. Dumisani on his social medias, everything that he does, and I've read quite a few things about him, and I know for a fact that he started his businesses quite young. He is young as he is, but younger than he is right now. Exactly. So I would like to know, I'm pretty sure the viewers would like to know as well, as a young person, what is this big dream that you had, that you had to passionately chase it and get to this point, and what has been your experience thus far?
All right. I was reasonably exceptional in my primary school days. And by the way, my middle name, which is Lingamangali, is a self-given name.
Oh.
Yeah.
What does
Which
it mean,
mean-
by the way?
It means don't be surprised.
Ah, that's
yes. So it
powerful.
means
Okay.
don't be surprised. So
What tribe is that?
that's Ndebele.
Oh, okay.
So I'm actually
Nice.
typical Ndebele.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So in my primary school days, I was a bit exceptional in terms of school.
Okay.
Because I remember writing my grade 7 examination. I was in grade 5, and I was still the highest
2
in grade
years
7.
behind. Okay.
2 years behind, and I was the highest.
Wow.
So I used to beat my chest and say, no, linga mangali, don't be surprised.
That's powerful.
Yeah, so at a very young age, I think I realized that if you dared to dream, you can do it. In fact, even that same thing of skipping grades was basically a dare. So it was a dream in itself. Like, okay, fine, can I? And then I
Achieve
discovered that no, I did it. Yeah, so it was from that age that I realized that whatever I dreamt of would easily, come to reality.
Manifest.
Would easily be manifested, yes. So I think that was the first time that I realized that, so if you dared, I think things can actually, happen. But you must note that what pushed me to begin dreaming really big was that, you see, in our environment, growing up in the village, we were somehow limited in terms of dreams.
Okay.
Because what you see around is what limits what you can dream
Exactly.
about. Yes. So your immediate environment has an impact on you. In fact, I've shared this to say I was born in a very poor background, actually. Thatched house, no electricity. I saw electricity the first
Where
time when I
was
was
that?
10
Was
years
that in
old.
Zambia?
Yes, in Zambia.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
I first saw electricity when I was 10 years old.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so it was that kind of an environment.
Yeah.
But when I got to Matero Boys,
Okay.
which is in Lusaka, that is when I realized that, you see, life is so different. At Matero Boys, I realized during break time and lunchtime that, you see, I had friends who could buy a pie and a drink Apple Max then for break. Lunchtime, they would also have a very
Something
nice meal.
else.
Yes. Like,
And it's just a wonder to you, like,
yes, like
people do
every
live this
day.
way.
Yeah, like how? Who
Okay.
does that? I mean, and at that time, like for some of us, we were limited to actually study. Not that we're, hard workers,
Okay.
but because circumstances called for us
You just need to work
study,
hard.
yeah. And the other thing is, you see, I had a couple of friends who would be dropped by parents
Okay.
at school.
Driving, that
Driving. In fact, my classmate, a very close friend, I'll just use maybe the first name, Andrew. He had a driver, actually.
Okay.
Him, yeah. So he had a driver and his own vehicle.
Wow.
Yeah. So
In high school.
in high school, yes,
Okay.
grade 8. So he would be dropped
Uh,
and picked. Then I realized that, you see, there is a certain other level. So it was
Okay.
from that point that I now, broadened my dreams. Now to say, no, I think there is so much more
There's
that can
better
be.
out there.
Yes. So it was from that then I pushed harder towards the dreams of, being successful.
exactly.
Not that I didn't have dreams before
Okay.
that. I had dreams, but that incident in grade 8 just pushed me to the whole different level.
And
And I
just
can-
saying,
Yeah.
you just have to do
I
this.
just have to. Though, of course, now looking back,
Okay.
during my primary school days at the village, there are certain simple things that then, that I can look back and say, well, maybe I had big dreams.
Okay.
One of them is that, we were playing with wire cars. Then one of my colleagues, you see, now, when you're in that kind of an environment, your dreams are somehow limited.
Exactly.
Yes, so the people that we looked up to are those that were maybe those that left the village
And
for
went
Lusaka.
to Lusaka.
Yes. Whether they're in Chibolia, Kanyama, it matters
They
less.
just
John
left
Lane,
and went to Lusaka.
They're in Lusaka. Those are in Lusaka.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are people that we looked up to.
Okay.
And there's a certain uncle who was, a truck driver for Sebo Transport. So he had this big truck.
Alright.
So we looked up to him, say, "Ish, that man
He's
is
doing the
happening. He's the driver and he's
Wow.
driving this powerful truck." So now playing with wire, wire trucks, and so there was a conversation that actually came up. We said, no, one said, no, I would really love to be, a truck driver.
Okay.
Then the other one also responded saying, no, for me, not a truck driver. I would rather have, Back then at the village, there was a place called Christian Voice close by.
Okay.
Yes. So now, the most respected vehicle that side, which was being driven by a certain white man, was a trooper, Isuzu trooper.
Okay.
So one said, you see, you're just driving trooper, like trooper.
Okay.
Now, just driving the boss.
Yeah.
So when you drop the boss at work, then the trooper remains yours.
Yeah, just moving around with it.
Just moving around with it. So then I said, well, but why not own the trooper and be the boss yourself?
Okay.
And why not own trucks? And do our boasting and whatnot.
Okay.
So that conversation ended. But from that point, it was a dream in me that I think it would be nice, to
be the owner of the car.
Yes, to be the owner of the car and to be the owner of, the trucks.
Okay.
And because of that dream, I now believe that dreams really do come true.
Indeed.
Because when I was 23 years old, I had, the Volvo FH Strobes. Now, you may not know that. Now we're talking about truck and trailer. Just say truck and trailer,
Okay.
And I'm this 23-year-old. Why? Because I dreamed. What you dream has a way of manifesting if you work towards that dream. Yes. So it was from that dream that I later on got to achieve that. The dream of driving a trooper, I even later on got to actually own a much more expensive vehicle, actually from the showroom.
Exactly.
So this says one thing. The dreams that you have as a young person have a way of manifesting. So there is nothing wrong with dreaming big. There are certain dreams that I had that were maybe big then. Like take for instance, I dreamed, now, here's the thing, being in the village, you would have, these thatched arrangements.
Yes.
And you have, toilets outside.
The kitchen is by itself. And
the kitchen on itself.
The
living room on itself. The bedroom on itself. Then the toilet is somewhere by the corner. Yeah, at the corner of the yard. So it was my dream to say, it would be so nice to have a toilet in the house. Yeah, that would be a dream come true.
Okay.
So then my dream was that, no, I should actually own like that kind of house,
inside,
bathroom and everything. I don't if I don't want, I don't even go outside.
No, everything is there in the house.
Yeah. Now, for some of you who are in Lusaka and growing up in town, that is a normal thing. But for us, it's like, wow, that's a serious dream. So, but by the time I was 24 years old, I built my first mansion.
Okay.
So that just explains that dreams can truly come through,
Exactly.
no matter how crazy they may be. I dreamt of traveling the globe. You see, in the village again, we would actually point at planes when they're passing.
And just be amused.
When you come back, drop us sweets and biscuits and whatnot. That's what we used to do.
Exactly.
We were vaccinated, just seeing that. And I can share with you that I have literally traveled the globe. Not paid for, but paying for myself. Yeah, so you can mention, is it London, Paris? I have been there. Athens, Greece, I have been there. So dreams do come through. Now, here's a village boy, living this.
Yeah.
And you dreamt of actually being on TV. I also dreamt of, being on TV, and not just on TV. I've actually been on all the major channels, starting with BBC, getting all through to the local channels, and so dreams do come true. But it begins with you dreaming big.
Exactly.
Yes, and just on that, I should also add on to say there is nothing wrong with dreaming big. You see, when you are born, we are very ambitious. We have huge dreams, humongous dreams. That is why we tell our parents to say, no, Christmas, you should get us a pool in front, another pool behind. Why? Because see, kids really dream big. But our dreams begin shrinking because people are telling you to say, don't dream this, you can't do this, you can't achieve this.
Out of your reach.
It's out of your reach, you can't be that, you can't be that. Then we are then cocooned to think in a certain way. But truly, we are born with great aspirations. And my wish is for the young people, it is possible.
That's powerful.
It is possible.
Picking from what you said about environment shaping how big someone can dream and how much they can go for what they believe in. There are certain people that, as you said earlier, when they were born, they had all these big dreams and whatnot, but as they grow, they end up losing that momentum. They just settle for whatever comes. Maybe this person dreamt of being a doctor somewhere, and they just end up settling for, I'll just open a shop, or I'll just get employed in this as anything that comes.
Yeah.
So why is it dangerous for people to just push away everything and say, you know what, I'll just settle for what is. Maybe what I'm thinking, what I'm dreaming of is way too big. I can't achieve it.
Okay, the danger with that is you become complacent.
Okay.
Like that vibe, that push just dies away. So at that point, if you become complacent, there is less that you can achieve. Remember that you become what you believe you can become.
Okay.
So if you believe that you cannot amount to much, certainly you are not going to amount to much.
Exactly.
Yes, so it is a very dangerous environment to be in.
Okay.
If you find yourself in that space where now you are tied to a corner and you feel you can't be much, and so there is need to always, push yourself to the next level and see how far you can go. And that can be shaped by many ways, the people that you interact with. Yes. And now with the advent of social media,
Okay.
it makes work extremely easier. Who are you following on social media? Because the people that you view have a way of changing the way you
Influencing you.
certainly. So it is then extremely important that you follow people that you look up to, people that you see yourself becoming in a couple of years. Because if you follow such people, it will then shape your mind and give you the energy to push harder towards those dreams.
That's great. And you have mentioned of all the big dreams that you had and everything that you've achieved. I absolutely love that you went full force for your dreams and achieved everything. So there may be somebody out there that has maybe similar dreams as yours and think, you know what, I'm just going to sleep and wake up and I'll be in Paris. I want you to tell that person, what did you do to prepare you to get to where you are right now, or the things that you did that have helped you to achieve or become the radical entrepreneur that you are currently?
All right. So the interesting thing is that, the dreams that we have, my dreams, your dreams,
Okay.
and the dreams of a number of other youths there are just about the same.
Okay.
Like just about the same dreams. All of us are dreaming of being in these powerful big mansions, powerful houses, and all of us are dreaming of driving these powerful vehicles, expensive ones and whatnot. We dream of that. All of us dream of traveling the globe without worrying about savings. We dream of that. So the dreams that we all have are the same. But these dreams can only be achieved by those that are willing to live life differently. And by living life differently, it is by applying yourself excellently.
Okay.
Let me break it down. Maybe I'll just share one scenario. In my teenage years, when I was trading in goats,
Okay.
then I was about 15, 16, I would buy a bicycle from Lusaka, ride it to my village. Then from Lusaka,
Wow.
Ride it to my village, and these Eagle bicycles.
Okay.
Then from my village, I would get into deeper villages, Shibuyunji going down,
Okay.
to exchange my bicycle with goats. So each bicycle would give me an average of 4 or 5 goats.
Okay.
Then I would walk with those goats from the deeper villages to my village, which was closer to town, at least. So it's a journey that would take me, say, on an actual day, I would leave my village, say at 04:05, ride to the deeper villages. Maybe I'm there around 9, do the exchange by 10. I have my 4 or 5 goats.
Okay.
I tie them one next to the other. Then I would walk with those goats, a journey that would start off at 10.
Okay.
I would be reaching my village at 01 the following day.
Wow.
Now that is
That's
continuous
a lot of
walking. Yes,
sacrificing.
that's continuous walking.
Okay.
The first half of the journey, the goats are sleeping on the road. The first half of the journey, they are very energetic. So they are jumping from one end of the road to the other, and so
you have to constantly push them back into the road.
That's the thing. That's the
Okay.
thing. So that's the first half of the journey. Then the second half of the journey, they are tired.
They just
then
want
start
to reach
sleeping.
now.
No. They start sleeping on the road.
Okay.
So I tried pushing. I tried all that. It wasn't working out. So I learned how to tickle. I would then tickle them. But of course, don't ask me where I used to tickle them. Just know that I'll tickle them.
We're not
they'll
going
be
to go
re-energized.
there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I tickle them, they'll be re-energized for the next 25 minutes at least. Then they'll start sleeping again. Then tickle them.
Okay.
So that was the journey. By the time I'm reaching home, I would literally feel the heartbeat from under my feet.
Wow.
that called for exceptional hard work. So that tells us one thing. The dreams that you are dreaming of should be backed up with hard work. So you just don't sleep to your dreams. If you sleep, you are sleeping your way to poverty. You are not sleeping your way to dreams. Yes. So it is extremely important that the teens out there realize that to become that which you wish to become, it just doesn't happen like a bragadabra, then you are this. It calls for serious hard work. And I shouldn't care to say, see, success is predictable.
Okay.
It is predictable in the sense that what you do now determines what you will become.
Exactly.
So you just don't wake up one day and you're successful. You're like, what happened?
I'm living my dream life.
I'm successful. It doesn't work that way.
No.
You work towards success. You push towards success.
Exactly.
It just doesn't happen. So it is extremely important that the teens out there realize that, the teens out there get to know that you just don't wake up.
Exactly.
And the other thing is, you see, you need to realize that for you to be exceptionally successful, you must live a life which is a bit different. I think I'll share one other story. At the village, I had a kiosk, a kantemba.
Oh, yeah.
And well, in this kantemba, I was selling many things, and then I was about 15. Amongst the things that I was selling, there was kasepa.
Okay.
So there's kapenta, there's fish, but then there's kasepa.
Okay.
So kasepa is not kapenta, no, is it fish?
It's just somewhere.
It's just there. Just know that it is there. So,
okay.
So kasepa, for whatever reasons, it dies with sand in the gills. It's a bit bitter and whatnot,
okay.
And very cheap.
Oh.
Yeah. So what would happen then was that a meda of kapenta was going like for 30 kwacha.
Okay.
Then a meda of kasepa was going for 7 kwacha.
Oh.
So we are measuring in big sachets for the same amount for kasepa.
And the carpenter.
Yes,
Okay.
compared to carpenter. So I remember very well that we had scenarios where you see in our setup, the poor, no, I mean a number of us are poor,
Okay.
but amongst the poor, there are those who are poor who call the poor bosses. So those are the ones. So those are the ones that would buy kasepa. You know,
okay.
yeah. So those are the ones that would buy kasepa.
Okay.
So I remember at one time, having a conversation with my peers. So now, being childish and being young,
Exactly.
we used to make fun of kasepa.
Okay.
Yes. So now, having a conversation with my peers, I thought of contributing to the argument that was taking place.
Okay.
So one guy just answered and said, "Ewe choka pakaziwe cha kugurisa kasepa huko." Yeah.
Okay.
So now, then everyone laughed.
Yeah.
Everyone laughed. And of course, then I didn't respond to this guy.
Exactly.
Because, you see, I've actually fought 2 battles in my life.
Okay.
The first one is that I have fought poverty. The second one is stammering. So I used to stammer.
Oh.
So now, thinking of answering this guy, I knew that, no,
It
this
won't
is
end well.
it won't end well, because I'll say one sentence, then this one will say, 15
It won't
sentences.
end well.
It won't. So I weighed myself.
Okay.
I put myself on the scale, then I was found wanting. So I kept quiet. But I said these words in my heart. You don't know my journey.
Oh.
I know my journey.
Exactly.
And these words, I've said them several times.
Okay.
When people look down upon me, when circumstances are bad, and I have to do the dirty work and whatnot, what I just say is, well, you don't know my journey. I know my journey. So if you are to be successful, exceptionally successful, you need to say these words, that you don't know my journey, I know my journey. Because that then would make you do extraordinary things. Sometimes we are left in a certain cocoon and not to do certain things because we feel my friends will laugh at me.
Yeah.
How are they going to look at me? And that's what we worry about. But if you are to exceptionally be successful, then you must do those things that others might laugh.
Are willing to do.
Yes, it is as simple as that.
That's powerful. And on that note, there might be somebody that has not yet joined us and meets this powerful interview, and I wouldn't like them to miss it. So I'm tasking you, dear teenagers and parents and everybody that is watching us, if there's somebody in your house that has not yet joined you, please, please, please tell them that Hope Teens is on, and we're talking big dreams today. And while at that, we're going to show you some of the interviews that we had in the streets of Lusaka, because we believe that the answers and the solutions are with you, the people. Do not go away. I'll be back in the jiffy.
But the first question must be, what are dreams, or big dreams. What are big dreams? I do not have a strict definition, but I can define it by means of an illustration. Martin Luther King Jr., in the Washington March, he said, "I have a dream where my children will be judged by the content of their character, not the color of their skin." And if you look at the prevailing situation then, black people had limited rights. And so, in his context, a dream is an imagination of what the future would be like. But this imagination is not a negative one, but rather a positive one. So I go with that. A dream, big dreams are simply you imagining a reality outside what is and pursuing it so that you actualize it. Do I have personal dreams? I do have personal dreams myself. My dream is to become a researcher in artificial intelligence and robotics and medicine, and to look at how we can integrate these fields to improve health service delivery. Why is it important for people to have big dreams? Not just dreams, but big dreams. The majority of the world's problems have been solved by people who've taken the task of achieving something that was thought to be impossible. Because they had a dream, they worked towards achieving it. And what was impossible, they did. And even for us today, we must dream big so that we can change the world at a time. Who should have big dreams? Everyone should have big dreams. Of course, having the dream is not the only thing that is important. It is important that you work towards achieving your dream. Young people especially should have dreams and work towards achieving their dreams. For example, I gave my idea of my dream. My dream is to integrate technology and medicine. How am I going to achieve the dream? Of course, everything is not going to happen at the same time, but we make small steps towards achieving our dream. For example, I'm pursuing one part of my course, which is medicine. And after I finish my course in medicine, I want to pursue a second degree adventure in computer science or in medical technologies, and I can see how we can integrate these fields. So I encourage everyone to pursue their dreams, to define their dreams. If you cannot imagine something, then you cannot achieve it. So if you have a dream, write it down on paper, then make goals, make plans to achieve your dream. Dream big and impact the world. You will change the world.
Myself, I am a paramedic. I was a student at Levi Mwanawasa Medical University, and I am one of Zambia's first 20 paramedics. So that alone is insight on how you should portray your dreams. Well, what I think dreams are to me, living your dream is actually just fulfilling your life purpose, okay? It's just simply about what you think you were made to do here and achieving that to the fullest, most potential. For me, I felt like I needed to help people in need, and being in the medical field helped me help people who are vulnerable, okay? So I pursued my dream by going into the medical field. And I didn't want to become a paramedic actually. My main dream is to become a surgeon. I want to become a cardiothoracic surgeon. That's my dream. And how I'm going to do that is by following little tiny steps, okay? Life is a marathon, and it's not a sprint. You cannot sprint in a marathon. It's tiny little efforts, okay? You celebrate the tiny victories, the tiny sprints. And I was able to do that by pursuing my diploma before I can become a surgeon. I have to start with something small, because not all of us can go all the way to the top just with one shot. We have to take tiny little steps. All right, so my advice to you is go out there, follow your dreams, okay? Don't let anybody stop you. Don't feel shy. Shyness is a good thing, sometimes a bad thing. So be strong, be courageous. Most importantly, believe in yourself. Only you know what you want, okay? No one else knows what you want. No one should tell you what you want. Believe in yourself, do what you want, and always be positive.
Me, I'm not going to necessarily define what a dream is, but I'm just going to give an illustration or a dream that I thought about, then it became reality. So, the only things about dreams is implementing them. So, when I was in grade 8, when I started school, I dreamt of having good results in grade 12, points below 10. When I got in grade 9, I didn't do so fine. But when I went in grade 10, I began pursuing my dream, having good results. When I went in grade 11, I started studying hard, studying the whole night, doing all those things, the chaos which was there, hunger, what and what. But I never slept on the dream. I still dreamt that I would have good results. Grade 12, I went there, started studying hard. Then the exams came, they were quite hard, but all of a sudden, my dream became a reality. I had good results, 7 points. So that dream became a reality. So what I can encourage my fellow youths is that when you begin a dream, when you dream something that you want to do in life, start implementing it. Small by small, begin the steps. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. So when you take a step, you can go towards your dreams. So after I've written the exam, I have other bigger dreams of making big companies, forming something bigger than Facebook. And I know that I'll do it because I have started the journey. Thank you.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching Hopkins, a show that is here to entertain you, educate you, and elevate you in all spheres of your life. Now today, if you're just joining us, we are discussing dreaming big, the importance of dreaming big. Why should you dream big? Why should you have dream bigs? Why should you follow through with your dreams and live the life that you've always imagined? And of course, I'm here with a radical entrepreneur. Yes, so we were talking just before the break, we're talking about some of his experiences, what he has done extraordinarily that have led him to this place that he is at right now. Now, just to pick up from there, Mr. Dumisani, I would like for you to just re-echo. I know you've talked about this, but just like re-echoing, why should young people fiercely go for what drives them? Like, why should they just, whatever, come what may, it may be hard, I'm gonna face this and that, and just stay the course? Why should they do that? Why should they make that decision?
All right, so, the reason why you should stay the course is very basic.
Okay.
Most people fail to stay the course. The majority fail to stay the course. So those that then get to achieve exceptionally well are those that have stayed the course.
Okay.
So it is extremely important to pursue your dreams relentlessly. Now you see that I still stammer, yeah? Yes, so you have to pursue your dreams relentlessly. And you have to keep pushing and, putting in the best that you can. And what is important as well is to make sure that you have the big dream, the big dreams. What big dreams really do is this. They accord you an opportunity to work hard. Because if you have this big, huge dream, which is so difficult to achieve, it would help you to make sure that you manage your time extremely well. It will help you to make sure that you associate with people that can push you in that direction. It will make sure that you are focused. If you are dreaming small, and looking forward to achieving very, very small dreams, it will not push you. You not have this drive to wake up and whatnot. You see, you should have dreams that make it almost impossible for you to sleep. Yeah. And once you have such dreams in front of you, then chase them relentlessly, and put in the best that you can. And I should indicate to say there is no dream which is so big to be achieved. Any dream can be achieved. If you can dream it, if God has allowed, your brain to envision this, then certainly He can allow that to come to pass. So just look at it this way, and this is what I normally envision, and I say this, and I challenge God to say, you see, if you've planted this dream in me, then certainly you know that this can be achieved.
That's powerful.
Without braggadocio, I'll say this: I have achieved all my childhood dreams. Like literally, all my childhood dreams, I have achieved them. The dreams that I have now, are second dreams, like adult dreams, really. Everything that I had as a dream when I was a kid, I have achieved.
That's powerful.
The dreams that I had as a teen, I have achieved. Employing and running companies, that I have achieved. Traveling the globe, that I have achieved. Getting to certain countries, actually, I have actually been in countries where I'm welcomed by the cabinet and whatnot, and the governor. I have achieved that. So I have really achieved all my childhood dreams. Buying vehicles from the showroom, I have achieved that. So I just need new dreams. So even yourself, the dreams that you have now can be achieved. The key is just pursue those dreams relentlessly. Exactly. Put in the best, put in the hard work. You can as well achieve that.
That's very powerful. I can, looking at everything that you've achieved thus far, I'm pretty sure there has been a lot of hurdles along the way.
Yeah.
What are some of the hurdles that you've had, that you've experienced, that maybe some mistakes that you can say, you know what, I made this mistake for you. You don't have to go through this road. I walked it for you. So go this other way instead. So what can you tell to the people that are watching us right now, like some of the mistakes that you've made that they can avoid on their way to achieve their big dreams?
Okay. Wow. That's a very interesting one.
Okay.
But I shouldn't care to say, in my journey, it wasn't a very straightforward journey.
Okay.
It had its own ups and downs. I had many losses and whatnot. Like 2010, 12th March, I was robbed of my capital in South Africa. Wow. I lost it all. 2012, 2013 farming season, I made a massive loss in a tomato project. 24th August 2014, one of my trucks was involved in a tragic accident, which led to the closure of my transport company. In 2019, I was scammed of so much money, $19,296, which is like $400,000. But then in the process, I lost $40,000, which is like 800,000,
Zambian kwacha.
Yes, Zambian kwacha, at least at the current exchange rate.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have lost quite a bit. But the lessons that I would say one should actually put in, number one, is that you can lose many things. You can lose money, you can lose that little thing that you're actually holding so dear to yourself. You can lose many things. One thing that you should never lose is the drive and the push towards your dreams. The moment you lose that, you are gone. The moment you lose the direction towards your dreams, you are gone. I think there are times that I lost time mourning the losses that I had. Now for me, that is time that I feel I wasted.
Okay.
If I had a way, I shouldn't have stayed back and being in this pity party. You see, things are not working, or things are this, or things are that. If I knew how life operates really, I should have just kept pushing for my dreams. So you can lose many things, but this one thing you should never lose, and that is the fire, the drive towards your dreams. That you should never lose. You'll be disappointed by your friends, you'll be disappointed by your family, and sometimes we can even be disappointed by our parents.
Okay.
But even as you lose that, don't lose this one thing, which is the fire, the drive, the passion. That the moment you lose that, you are gone. Yes.
That's very powerful.
Yeah.
When we talk about when we're talking to the young people, I'm certain most of them are in the hands of guardians, and so I'm meant to believe that somehow, somewhere, the guardians have got a role to play in how the lives of their children or the people that they keep play out. What advice or what role can you give to the guardians out there about how they can help their children become the best versions of themselves, to go out there and pursue their dreams and just become everything they've always dreamt to be?
All right, so for the guardians, for the parents, and father figures, mother figures, what you really need to do is, take time to identify what your children love,
Okay.
what they care for, what they would wish to achieve, where their interest is, where their talents are.
Okay.
Sometimes you see we have a way of pushing these people to think in a certain cocoon, and that is why if you get in, I talk to very young people in early primary
Okay.
or mid-primary, ask them what they would want to become.
Okay.
They have different aspirations.
Exactly.
But as they get to their teens, ask them the same question.
They'll change.
It is almost a chorus. It's like, doctor,
Doctor, lawyer.
lawyer,
Accountant.
engineer, accountant. That's it. It is not that is really what they would really want to become, but because you have been pushing them in that direction to say you need to become this or nothing. Yeah, so, but success really, if you look at the most successful people, the most successful people are those that pursued their talents. Now, when you pursue your talent, you have a very interesting advantage.
All right.
You have an added advantage over others.
Other people that are
Yes.
the same.
Why? Because
As you.
they can't compete with you on your talent. I mean, you can't compete
It's
on
what
talent.
you love. It's something
It's
that
what
you're born with.
it's what you can do quite
Okay.
easily. It's your special ability to do something. But we are pushed in areas. We push young ones in areas where they have no interest, where they have no competitive advantage. And you realize one thing: the most successful people globally are those that pursued their talents and excellently applied themselves in their talents. Those are the
That's
most
brilliant.
successful
Okay.
globally. Even in Zambia, those that pursued their talents and applied themselves excellently in that, those are the ones that get to be extremely exceptional. So give the children, give the young ones an opportunity to dream, to aspire
Okay.
for that which, of course, you are a parent, you've actually seen a little more than they have seen, but accord them an opportunity to build that which they have interest in. Don't just push them in a corner and cocoon them in a corner to say, no, you need to dream this way and you need to think this way.
This is all you can be.
And you see, sometimes we parents can be so cruel. You see, we push our children to do the things we failed to do. Since you wanted to be a doctor and you failed to
You
become a
can't
doctor, now you
become
want to
the
achieve
doctor.
that. Yeah, so it's
There's a
like,
challenge.
I'll live through you. Doctor, you. Yeah,
Exactly.
since you failed and you want to do it that way. But what if we then gave them an opportunity for them to pursue that which they truly love? You see, real success is having a fulfilled life. A life well lived is one where you have, one which is so fulfilled. You love what you do.
According to you.
According to you. I love what I do. You see, I'm still looking forward to a day when I work.
Okay.
Yeah, truly. Because for me, running a business is fun. It's like, it's like a game of chess, I play this, I play that, I play that.
Literally living
I
out the
lose.
words. When you do what you love, you never have to work a day. That's
the thing.
beautiful.
Perfectly. So for me, it's like a game of chess. I win
Okay.
some, I lose some.
And life goes on.
Very
like that.
interesting journey,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm still looking forward actually to a day when I'll work. Yeah, and by the way,
Wow.
from this interview, this is 17, 18.
Okay.
I'm going to the office because I want to play some game in readiness for the week.
I love how you're saying that. Work, but for him it's a game because he's
Yeah.
doing what he loves.
Yeah.
That's very powerful.
Yeah.
I read somewhere it said the easiest way to success is when one has clarity. Most of the people that have not made it, some of them, it's not that they may not have had big dreams, some of them lack clarity. What would you say around that? Why is it important to have clarity, and how can people create a clarity around what they want to be and just pursue that?
Okay, so, well, clearly, you cannot achieve that which you have not envisioned you achieve.
Okay.
Yes. So, meaning clearly, you need to have that dream.
Exactly.
Now, once you have that dream, your dream should be so clear, like super clear, to say, I want to be this, and I want it this way. You must feel it. So if you can dream it and you can feel it, then certainly you can achieve it.
Nice.
So clarity comes in at the point of feeling it.
Okay.
You see, when I talk of, in fact, I should mention a dream that maybe I am yet to achieve.
Okay.
So I actually own houses. Yeah. But then there is a house. In fact, let me say, the house that I would live to
there
move
are
in.
houses and there's their house.
There is
Okay.
the house.
Okay.
So this house is not yet done.
Okay.
And this is what I'm calling my retirement house.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
As I think of it, I have a picture of it. I know how it should look like. I know how I should feel when I'm
you
in
enter
it.
the house.
Yes. I know how it should be like outside. And the design is not yet finalized. The design is not
okay.
yet done. But in my head,
You've
it is
seen it
clear.
already from start
I've
to
seen it.
end.
I've seen it. So meaning, as the designing is being done and as everything is being done, I know what must be achieved.
Exactly.
Now, because I know it that way and I
Okay.
feel it that way, certainly I'm going to live in that house. Why? Because I know clearly what I need achieved.
Okay.
So even yourself, if you do not see this thing clearly, you do not envision it clearly, you cannot be it. You cannot be it. So be clear on the direction, be clear on what you want to achieve. It is only when you are clear that you can achieve it. You see, move away from some of these, clueless dreams of, I want to be successful. Okay, successful. How?
Where? In what
Like
field?
how? Yeah. I want to be rich. Okay, fine. So what is your definition of being rich?
Exactly.
Because in the village, if you have, a big tire bicycle, you have a bicycle that has
And 10 goats.
and 10 goats, and this bicycle can change gears. It's like jingama gear. I mean, you are rich.
You are rich.
So what is your definition of being rich? So there should be, clarity in what
Around what
you
you
want to
want.
become.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's-
So that is extremely important, because if you are clear, even as you thrust towards those dreams, you'll be very much clear. So it is extremely important that you become super clear.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
We're coming to the close of the show, sadly. But anyway, I have learned so much. I'm pretty sure the teenagers have been enlightened as well.
Okay.
So as we come to a close, sir, any last remarks anything that you want to leave the teenagers with? That if maybe everything that we've talked about, they've not heard anything, this one thing, they must not forget it.
Okay. Thank you for the invitation here.
Okay.
Now, my last words to the young ones, the teens, is that, own up.
No.
Realize that the future is dependent on you.
Okay.
What you become is dependent on you. We tend to have some of these thoughts of, my father this, my auntie this, my brother hasn't done this, my sister hasn't done this, so I cannot be this. You need to realize that you are 100% in charge of your life, and realize that for you to become that which you dream to become, you have to take 100% responsibility of your life. Don't think that anyone owes you a living. No one owes you a living. The fact that you are born alone, so it is your journey alone. So if your parents are helping you towards your dreams, that is a huge plus, because there are a number of youths who do not have parents that can even help them. But over and above this, you need to realize that you're 100% in charge of your life. So if you're in university, put in the best that you can. If you're starting a business, put in the best that you can. If you are building on your talent, put in the best that you can, because you are 100% in charge of your life. No one owes you a life. You are born alone, and certainly you walk this journey alone. And forget about blaming others for your failure. Realize that you are 100% in charge of your life. Because the moment you begin thinking that, no, maybe this aunt hasn't treated me well, this uncle hasn't treated me well, I can't study hard because I do not have thinking process, or because I do not have A, B, C, D. What that does, it gives you an excuse for mediocrity. But for you to become exceptional, you then have to realize that, your life is solely dependent on you. I owned up as a young person. I realized that I was 100% in charge of my life, and I took charge of my life as a teen. Because we tend to think that, I'll become this, I'll do that when I grow up. I'll be this when I grow up. I'll do this when I grow up. I'll do this when I grow up. Time flies so fast. Then you realize that you've grown up. Then those are the people now that start saying, if
Midlife
only I was
crisis.
young. You see, if only I was young. So now, don't find yourself as that adult who is regretting saying, if only I was young. So the thing that you have in your hands is one thing, and that is the greatest advantage that you have. And that one thing is you have time on your end and you have energy on your end. So utilize it well, and may God bless you.
Ah, wow. Thank you so much, sir. And to you, the people that are watching us back home, we do have lines scrolling below or beneath your screen. If you've got any questions about this topic or another topic that we did last week, please feel free to send in your questions, because we're going to have some Q&A sessions with some phenomenal people, just in case there may be something or somewhere where you may need clarity. And as we come to the close of the show, I want to remind you that the man that made the light bulb, he said, I have discovered that there are 10,000 ways in which I cannot achieve this. Not that I have failed, but there are 10,000 ways in which I cannot achieve it. But he did find a way eventually. And so go on, young child, go on, girl child and boy child, dream big. Go profusely in the direction of your dreams, and realize that if your dreams do not scare you, then they might not just be big enough. So go ahead and dream big. My name is Natasha Shapola Mamba. I will see you next week, same time, same place, and God bless.